The next aspect we wanted to discuss is the impact of the amendments on the ongoing proceedings. The provisions of the General Clauses Act, they provide that in case where some provisions are repealed, the proceedings and the acts that have already been done in terms of the old provisions, they will continue to survive. Also, notification circulars or any kind of rule, bylaws, etc., which are made in terms of the repealed provisions, in case there is a repeal and substitute, they will continue to survive if they are not contrary to the substituted provisions. Now, the amended provisions, they at the time when the amendment was made, the Finance Act does not say that the old provisions are being repealed and that the new provisions are being instituted in place of that. What is stated is that the new provisions are being substituted. However, there is sufficient jurisprudence on the subject to say that even in case of substitution, the old provisions should be read to be repealed if the legislative intent to that extent is very clear. And in our understanding, therefore, as far as the old provisions are concerned, they should be read to be repealed. In terms of the provisions of Section 6 of the General Clauses Act, therefore, the proceedings that had already been initiated under the old provisions, they will continue to survive. The assessees cannot argue that now that the provisions have been repealed with effect from 1st April, the assessment proceedings cannot survive. That argument, in our understanding, is not possible. And having issued the notice under Section 148, thereafter, as I said in the beginning, the procedure for completion of reassessment, that does not undergo any substantial change. Thereafter, the reassessment can be done by NFAC. And as far as that reassessment is concerned, that can be done in terms of the amended provisions. But there, the assessees cannot challenge that 148A, etc., that opportunity should be given. If the notice under Section 148 has been legally issued on 31st March 21 or any date prior to that, the assessment proceedings that were instituted by virtue of that, they will continue to survive. Also, if the assessee, there are some notification circulars that the assessee wants to rely on, which were issued in terms of the erstwhile provisions, that the assessee can still continue to rely, provided they don't run contrary to the amended provisions. Yeah, and from this, we now wanted to head towards the impact of taxation and other laws, relaxation and amendment of certain provisions Act 2020, and the entire problem that has arisen because of the notifications issued in exercise of powers of this Amendment Act. This is a broad timeline which indicates the events that have led to the litigation that have ultimately led to storming of high courts with a number of writ petitions challenging the 148 notices. During the first lockdown, this Amendment Ordinance at that time was brought in, and subsequently which was converted into an act, which provided that if there is any proceeding which is to be completed or notice to be issued which is to be completed during the period of 20th March 2020 to 31st December 2020, the said proceedings or the said notices, they can be issued up till 31st March 21. There are 3 dates here. First date being 20th March 2020, which is fixed. Second date being 31st December 2020, which broadly highlights the range. And this period of 31st December 2020, this could have been extended by the government, which in fact was subsequently extended to 30th March. And third date is the date on which the notice has to be issued or the proceeding, etc., has to be completed. Again, this date could be extended. What actually happened is, what was stated was that the notices under Section 148, which could be issued from 20th March 2020 to 30th March 2020, they can be issued up till 30th June 2021. However, in the notification which was issued on 31st March 21, what was provided was that the reassessment has to be completed in terms of the old repealed provisions, even when the notices are being issued on or after 1st April 21. Now, the problem is, the general principle of administrative law is that the powers are to be exercised in accordance with the statute. And the powers are to be exercised in accordance with the statute as it stands on the day when the powers are to be exercised. As on 1st April 2021, the amended provisions are already in force. The old provisions are already repealed and they do not exist. Therefore, the first question is, can the assessing officer exercise powers in relation to provisions that are no longer there? In our understanding, the answer to that has to be a definite no. The assessing officer definitely has the power to reassess, no doubt, because there are substituted provisions. But the powers have to be exercised in accordance with the substituted provisions itself. Point number one. Point number two, the notification that is issued on 31st March, there the central government is saying that the old provisions will apply. The power that was given to central government under the Amendment Act was only to notify the dates up to which the acts can be done. The powers were never given to notify as to whether the provisions which are repealed that can be extended. Why does central statute, being Finance Act 21, the provisions have already been repealed? Therefore, the notification which states that the powers can be exercised in terms of repealed provisions, that should also not read to be correct. Therefore, the department ideally should have followed the provisions as they existed on 1st April 21, meaning that the department should not have issued notices beyond the period of 3 years or 10 years, as the case was, and more pertinently, should have also followed the procedure as was given in 148A before issuing notices under Section 148. That is the precise reason that in cases where the notices have been issued on or after 1st April 21, the assessees are challenging it on two broad grounds. Where the notices are issued beyond the period of 3 years and there is no income represented in the form of asset, the assessees are saying it is barred by limitation. Second, it is also being stated that the procedure under 148A, that is to say, issuing notices or issuing show cause notice before issuing a notice under Section 148, that procedure has not been followed. Now, various high courts, they have given stay as far as these notices are concerned, and the matters are sub judice. There are reports that an ordinance will be introduced to validate these notices which have been issued after 31st March 21. Now, a question which arises is, an ordinance can be retrospective, no doubt, but can a retrospective amendment validate illegal notices? Because on the day when the notices were issued, they were illegal because the assessing officer did not exercise the powers in accordance with the amended provisions. We want to discuss here one judgment of Bombay High Court in Habib and Sons. This is an old judgment, again dating back to 1947. Back then, there was in the income tax law, it was provided that a notice cannot be issued. The assessing officer has to issue a notice seeking return within a period which is not less than 30 days. In certain cases, AO issued notices seeking return of income within the period of 30 days. These notices were struck down by the High Court, saying that the notices were running contrary to the provisions. An ordinance was promulgated which provided that every notice which was issued stating that the return has to be provided within the period of 30 days, this notice is valid. The assessees challenge the ordinance on the basis of the fact that it cannot validate illegal notices, and the retrospective amendment to that extent is unconstitutional. The courts actually held that the ordinance can validate the notices, and this retrospective amendment is correct in law. Therefore, it is possible that when an ordinance is brought in, the government can actually try and validate the illegal notices. Just one point I wanted to mention here: when we read this judgment, the court actually observed that by bringing in the ordinance does not actually change any material law relating to the reassessment. However, In this case, the notification actually seeks to exercise powers in terms of the old law, which we have seen, in which the basis to reopen and the time period is materially different. Therefore, one can actually try and distinguish this case, and it can be argued that the illegal notices cannot be validated by the subsequent ordinance. Sriram sir, you want to add anything to this, sir?
Just one point. The important principle of interpretation that was laid down by the Bombay High Court, the full bench of the Bombay High Court in 1947, this judgment was this. We generally understand and think that the legality of a notice or an order should be judged based upon the law as it prevails on the date on which the notice or the order is issued. I'll repeat. Whether a notice or an order is valid has to be judged based upon the law as it stood on the date on which the notice or order was issued. Assuming a notice is issued on 1st of April 2021, we generally think that whether that notice is valid has to be seen based upon the law as it is on 1st of April 2021. But if the law as it is standing on 1st of April 2021 is amended retrospectively by the legislation, say for example on 1st of October 2021. On 1st of October 2021, a Taxation Amendment Act is brought in, which amends the law as in 1st of April 2021. Then when a list or a litigation is pending before the court on 2nd of April 2021, the court would have to look at the law as on 1st April, considering the amendment brought in from 1st of October. Therefore, the Bombay High Court held in 1947 that when they are reading the law in relation to reopening of these situations, these notices, it is correct on the date on which the notices are issued, the law prohibited the officer from issuing such notices. But on the date on which the court is reading the law, the assessing officer was permitted to issue such notices. This is generally referred to as validating legislations. You can validate an action which was illegal on the date on which the action was conducted. This is precisely in the context of reopening passed by the legislation to overcome illegal notices issued en masse across the country. And quite possibly, this is what is going to happen in the next 1 or 2 months in all these reopening notices as well. That's all.
Sriram sir, you want to discuss now way forward, sir?
Your session.
Having discussed that there are some problems with the notices and the fact that there may be ordinance which may be brought in, I think as far as assessees are concerned, where certain notices have been received on or after 1st April 21, the idea should first be to file the return of income in protest. That is to say, before filing the return of income, the assessees should record the fact that in their understanding, the notices are issued beyond the period of limitation, or alternatively, the procedure has not been followed, and thereafter should file the return of income seeking reasons for reopening the assessment. In the first instance, the assessees should eliminate as the fact as to whether the reasons suggest that the income is represented in the form of asset, so as to ensure that the information does not go beyond that the department cannot go beyond the period of 3 years. Having validated that, it is possible to challenge the notices before the High Court. And if the ordinance is promulgated in the meanwhile, the fine print of the ordinance will have to be looked into to check as to whether the ordinance can confer the legal validity to these illegal actions. This is because we'll have to see as to how the ordinance actually amends the law. Whether it amends the Finance Act to bring the old provisions and extend their period, or whether it is merely giving validation to the illegal notices. And based on that, the matter can then be argued before the High Court. Sriram sir, if you want to add anything here, sir. Okay. I think that's all we wanted to cover. Yes, sir.
Perfectly fine.
That's all we wanted to cover. I think we can stop here for questions.